The Stasis pod. This morning I went in with the airbrush and started doing some shading on it. Actually just dirtying it up some more and giving it some texture in some places, making it dirtier on the bottom and less on the top, like the dirt settled down. Actually having a blast doing it. I got a couple more passes to do, and I'll probably add a little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of brown, just to very lightly airbrushed on, just to break up a few different spots, not have just extremely faded black, and probably a little bit of a dry brushing, a little white, just to make some of the highlights pop, and then I'll be able to clear coat it and put decals on. I did get the canopy clear part on, which all I did was took K&S 10,000 styrene and just cut out a strip and super glued it in with some accelerator and trimmed it, and that's what I did on that. And I do need to clean it, but you get the idea. A couple more passes and I will be done with the Stasis pod. The C-130. First off, I sanded down the seams, and before you ever put putty, you should just sand what you can first, and then when you need to really blend it in, use putty. And that's what I've done so far, which I'm letting it dry as we speak. I got the cockpit all basically blended in. I want to have to do a couple more passes because it just don't fit right through here. But I did get the top and the wing, got that all puttied up. For the seam here, I'm going to use it's my surface primer and just build it up, and probably let primer, which I'll probably shoot it like real heavy, and let it get in the cracks, and that'll also help as a filler. Technically, we're building the J, and before people start crucifying me, telling me that I didn't make an exact J, I'll tell you all why. If you make a J, you're going to have to cut it right here, cut that off, and basically on the J model you'll have to extend it, and it's basically about 3/8 roughly. And then also on the J, you have to cut it off right about here, and whack that off and add about 1/4 to 3/8 spacer there, because you're actually extending it on both ends. But we're going to pretend that this is an early J, and we're going to go that route, because that would be a lot of work, which I'm not putting down making it correct, but most people wouldn't know that that you have to extend it, but we're just going to leave it and go as it is. Rod, I'm started doing the propellers, and I'll get these built and painted, and you'll have to actually put them on. They'll be just a little bit fragile, but they go together really easy. I think if anyone's building an Oz model propellers, you might need to pin it, but I think super glue holds it just fine. I mean, you ain't getting brutal with it. I use super glue on this, and all I do is I will take super glue and put a dab where the propeller goes, and then take the propeller and I whack that off. I use accelerator, and I get me a little piece of styrene, and I get a little pipette and get you some accelerator, and I'll dip it, and the super glue's on the propeller half, and then I'll take the propeller with the accelerator on it and just put it on, and bam, instant set, and you don't have to sit there and hold it with both hands and try to get it to, hopefully it sets, hopefully it ain't crooked, and do it one time. That's you just better know where you got the super glue, because it sets instantly. But that's a little easy trick. So I got all this to do today, and hopefully I'll probably sand that either this afternoon, but probably be tomorrow morning. And for the wings, I told everyone I got the nose cowlings on, and for whatever reason these little thingies here, I got them on per the instructions, and I got them on both sets, and there you have it. And just a little more parts to add, not a whole lot. There is a couple things that I'm going to omit because I really don't care for it. There's actually a part that goes right here, and I think it looks like you just added a kit part to it, and to me it just makes it don't look like a C-130. I don't know, just some pieces, and some of the doors don't really fit, but I had to let's just say I ain't fishing it out of the fuselage again. It's on, and once I get a couple coats of primer on, everything will be sealed up with primer paint, and I'll be good to go. So I got the C-130 to continue on, and hopefully I can get that all painted up and be done with the Stasis pod. So that's what I got going on today, and stay tuned for the next episode.